This is Chris K with your Peak Fitness Upper Body Mobility Routine. This routine is designed to work in conjunction with some of the corrective stuff and the exercises that we do at our gym to help to work on some upper body issues. You know, if you're carrying issues in your shoulders, or we've asked you to do this program in your off days, which will really start to relieve some tension that you might be feeling in your upper body and help to clean up some old injuries like things with your rotator cuff or just shoulder problems that you have going on. All right, with that said, what we're going to need for this workout is a foam roller, okay, a tennis ball, or a lacrosse ball, and what I call a peanut here. This last one is optional, but we make these here at the gym, so you can definitely get one from us. But the first thing that we want to do is unwrap the knots that we formed in our muscles. So we're going to start by foam rolling the upper body. All right, what I'm looking for here is the armpits, and what I'm going to do is just come into this position here. I'm placing the foam roller right at the midpoint of my top rib here. I'm going to lift my body slightly off the ground, and I'm just rolling up and down the side of my armpit here. I'm feeling like kind of a little bump that I hit, and we really want to concentrate in this area. You can also kind of turn in a little bit to get, we're working on really what we call your lat here, okay? And this is a really big muscle, so we can turn different directions to hit different parts of this muscle. But when you find an area that is, kind of ropey or tight, or just doesn't feel right, you just want to stop and kind of oscillate over it until we feel this start to depress. Right? I'm looking for anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes in this position. Then we're going to move to our upper back. All right? And obviously you're going to get both sides of the lat. With the upper back, what I'm going to do is just extend my body over the roller like this. Just kind of work on this one area here. I can kind of come up and down like this to kind of extend over the roller. Notice that my hands are crossed. Okay, and I'm really pulling back this way. This will kind of give you some protection for your neck. And what I'm doing is I'm just rolling slowly up my upper back here until I get to the base of my shoulder blades. I'm coming right down to my mid-back, right to about the level of the bra line. And again, if you feel an area that kind of feels bumpy or ropey, what you can kind of do is, shift to each side to really get the air, those kind of tight, condensed areas. You might hear some cracking, popping. That's definitely all right. And one area that I like to work on in particular is up here next to the shoulder blades. These are where your rhomboids exist. These often get tightened up. So, again, just kind of oscillate back and forth, really get into the areas that are, tight or painful. The other alternative is the peanut, all right? And the peanut is great because it's a little bit more focused roll here. This thing get away from here. And with a peanut, what I'm going to do is place this, again, kind of between my spinal vertebrae here. So this is right in the middle of the back, right in the middle of my back. Once again, starting at the bra line. So I'm going to place this down, just kind of come over it like this. And it's providing kind of a nice massage for the muscles that run up the back of my spine. These, again, as we're sitting over the computer during the day, these often get tightened up and ropey. And just kind of working on these areas, I'll start at kind of one spinal segment here. I'll do about 5 just little mini crunches here to put some pressure onto these areas. And then I'll just move up until I get to the base of my shoulder blades. The other thing that you can do with this is we can kind of just move the arms back and forth. Just kind of oscillate and get into this area. Really, really good tool to work on there. All right, now with our next implement that we're going to utilize here is our lacrosse ball. Okay, with the lacrosse ball or the tennis ball, whatever you have available to you, 2 areas that we want to hit are the front and the back of the shoulder. All right, so this is my posterior rotator cuff, and what I want to do is put this right at about the base of my armpit here. All right, and I'm just going to place this down, roll around until I find an area that it's just going to feel like lightning. I mean, you'll definitely know when you hit it because it's just going to feel tingly and just not right. When you get into that area, just kind of let the ball sink in and just oscillate forward and back over it. So we're just kind of put a little bit of pressure into that area, spending 1 to 2 minutes in each position until this just starts to compress. You should feel it kind of condense and start to go away and dissolve. These are trigger points that we're working on. From here, we're going to move to the front of the shoulder. Okay, and what I want to do is put it right about here, so kind of where the deltoid is. This is an area called our pec minor. I'm just going to come over it like this, let it sink in, and just shift up and down. Again, just moving my arm in and out, really finding that area. Once that starts to depress a little bit, I'll just move to another area, and again, just spending about 1 or 2 minutes in this position. All right, once we untie the knots, we're going to perform several mobility drills to help to gain some new range of motion. All right, one of my favorites, and the first one that we're going to do, is called a sideline arm sweep. Okay, the arm sweep can be performed in two ways. All right, I can start here on my back, just really pressing my back into the ground. My abs are tight. Start with my hand under my butt here, and now I'm just going to sweep up and over. While I'm coming up, I'm moving very slowly. I'm trying to pull my shoulder blade down and back so my arm stays on the ground. If I find that I start to come off the ground or my shoulder starts to shrug, this is where you want to stop, right? That's kind of the active range of motion. That's the limit right there. All right, so with each sweep, I'm just going to try to gain a little bit of range of motion. But again, this is a very slight motion. So, you know, we want to be very careful with this. Don't crank on the muscle. We're trying to do mobility drills here, so just move very slow and controlled. And again, I'm looking for anywhere from 15 to 20 reps on each side. All right, if we've given you kind of a side to work on in particular, you want to do double the volume, say on your right arm versus your left, if you have less flexibility on one side. The other variation of this is we can grab the top leg, kind of twist over like this so I get more of a stretch in my hip, and do the same thing. That's a little bit more of an advanced one, but again, it's really good as well. All right, for our next drill, we're going to do either a floor or a wall slide. With the floor slide, what I'm going to do is just put my arms up here like this, tighten my abs, press my back into the ground, and just slide up the floor. Once again, I'm just trying to keep my shoulder blades and elbows, everything pressed into the floor. If I find myself starting to come up, again, that's my range of motion right there. The goal is to get the arms fully overhead, and I'm kind of pressing up and out. An error I see a lot of people make is kind of coming in this way. Think about coming up and out, pausing at the top, take a deep breath, come back down. All right, this can also be done on a wall. So again, I press my back into the wall, elbows are here, trying to make a double chin and press my neck into the wall as well, just slide up and down. Because we're fighting gravity here, it's a little bit harder, but the same principles apply. Okay, from here we're going to do what are called Burdock Rotations. Okay, and here, I'm going to place one hand on my head, picking a spot about 10 degrees in front of me here, trying to keep my back flat. I'm just rotating up and just looking at the ceiling. I'll do this on the other side so you can see me a little bit better here, but my hand's on my head, looking down, and I'm following my elbow with my eyes here, looking up, coming down, trying to just get as much rotation out of my upper back as possible without moving my lower back. Again, 15 to 20 reps there. And we're going to end with what is called shoulder distraction, all right? And this is sort of an optional one. This is something that we've started utilizing at our gym. We're using a stretch band here, but you could certainly use an exercise band as well. And what I'm doing is I'm just backing up as far as I can until I get a good stretch in my shoulder. This is actually pulling the shoulder out of the joint a little bit, and palms facing the ceiling. I'm just oscillating up and down, just trying to gain some range of motion here, just working out that joint. And spending about a minute on each side. All right, so once again, we look for, ideally you would be doing this every day, but if you can do this several times a week, you're really going to notice great results, certainly after your workout, but as well, in conjunction with what we're doing. So that is my challenge to you, and that's our upper body foam rolling video.